Here in North Florida, in the Taylor County area and Jefferson County areas and Lafayette, there's quite a bit of Civil War activity. One such account of that given by a soldier, Mr. Sylvanus Masters Hankins Sr., detailed some of these events. Mr. Hankins was a soldier that was raised most of his youth up in a place called Cook's Hammock in Lafayette County. He was born in Madison County January 15th, 1846. He entered into service when he was 16 years old, Company D with the 11th Florida Reserve Regiment. The stuff we're going to discuss today are some stuff that he witnessed, an eyewitness to these events, happened off our Taylor County coastline. One of the first ones he talks about is the sinking of a ship at Deadmans Bay, presumably the Rob Roy. This event took place on March the 2nd, 1865. The following is an accounting of that, taken straight from his handwritten memoirs. Our regiment was put in winter quarters in Madison, Florida. We got orders one night for 2 companies to go to the Deadmans Bay to guard a blockade runner that had landed there with supplies for our government and was to load with cotton and make her escape to Nassau. Captain Bryan's company and Captain Tuberville's company was the 2 companies sent. It took 2 days to make the trip. We found the little schooner. She had discharged her cargo and had on about 200 bales of cotton waiting for the wind and tide to get outside and have a fair race with the USS blockading vessels, which was an old wooden ship of some kind. I think it was a sailing craft of some kind. At any rate, the captain of the blockade runner said if he could get outside, she could not catch him. We had been on their guard about 1 week when there came a moonshinery night with a big tide about 2 o'clock in the morning. She weighed anchor and put up her sails and started out on her perilous voyage. If she had a successful trip, it would mean quite a lot of money for her owner, and if the captain saw that he would be run down, he intended to beach her and burn her, and take small boats and make their escape to the mainland. The next morning at daylight, she was nowhere to be seen. The old blockade ship was still at anchor and 5 miles out. The little privateer had slipped out by them unnoticed and landed her cargo safe. I saw the captain after the war at Cedar Keys. His name was Mackey. The next day we were fixing to leave. We saw another schooner trying to make the mouth of the river, and the bluecoats were after her. She would have gotten in the river safely, but the bar at the mouth of the river was very shallow at low tide, and she ran aground. We all watched her, but had no way to get to her. The bluecoats put out a lot of small boats, well manned, and started to her. The captain saw there was no chance, so he put what he could in 3 small yawls. He set fire to his ship and pulled for the shore. I could see the whole affair standing on the banks of the Steinhatchee River, yet there was no possible chance for us to get to him to give the captain any assistance. The bluecoats boarded the burning ship, I suppose to try and put the fire out, but it was not long before she blew up, and I think I saw more than one of them up in the air. Reports said 6 bluecoats lost their lives. The captain went out the next day to see if he could recover some other stuff that was stored in the hold of his burned vessel. He managed to get to the rock, but he had a narrow escape. He came very near to being captured by the Yanks on the blockage. They made run to cut him off from the mouth of the river, but did not quite make it. Captain William Watson, who was the captain of the Rob Roy, after the war wrote several books, and in those books he gives an accounting of the same event on the same day at the Steinhatchee River, which supports this eyewitness account by Mr. Hankins.